Nick reviews Rust. Rust is a multiplayer survival game inspired by DayZ and Minecraft. The aim of the game is to survive. To do so, you need to gather resources: trees, rocks, metal ore, sulfur, and so on. Resources can then be crafted into many things from your crafting list. You will need to gather food, as there is a food system, and you can get it from the wildlife such as boars, chickens, rabbits, bears, wolves, and deer. Keep in mind that wolves and bears will attack you as you go near them. You will also need to deal with zombies. There is a regular zombie, a red zombie, which runs much faster, and a black zombie, which is much stronger. All zombies will aggro on you if you get close to them. You will be able to outrun them, but if you do decide to kill them, they will drop a suitcase which has loot in it, sometimes good and sometimes not as good. As I said, Rust is a multiplayer game, so there will be other people trying to survive. If they kill you, they will take everything that is on your body on the moment. Vice versa, if you are playing the bandit life and you kill somebody, you will take all their items on their body. Because this is a post-apocalyptic world, you also have to worry about radiation, which can be measured in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Some of the towns that you can visit to score better loot has radiation, and if the radiation goes over 500, it starts affecting your health. You can take anti-radiation pills, which will lower the radiation by 200, and for extra protection you can craft yourself a radiation suit. Suit? What is that? It's your armor. You can craft cloth armor, which is the weakest, leather armor, which is a bit stronger, and Kevlar armor, which is currently the strongest one at the moment. Radiation suit is also an option for you. It doesn't give you that much bullet protection, but if you want to go raid the towns for better loot and you don't want to keep popping anti-radiation pills every few seconds, that is an option. Oh, by the way, there's also day and night cycles, so I recommend you get the resources during the day and you craft and build during the night. Think this game is extremely elaborate and exciting? We haven't even gotten to the good parts yet. Now that you have a general idea of the game, let me walk you through what you would do as a survivor. So when you first spawn in, which is random all over the map, you will have three things: a rock, bandage, and a torch. You will also have your basic crafting recipes for surviving. One of the first things you should do is kill a boar, chicken, rabbit, or deer. They will not attack you back. Bears and wolves will, so I will leave that for later. After you kill your first animal, butcher it with a rock. You should get animal fat, cloth, and meat. Pause for a second right here because I know some of you guys are going to be confused. Because the game is still an alpha, every meat from animals is characterized as a raw chicken breast. So don't be shocked when you get Chick-fil-A from Pumbaa. As I moved around, I found a player base made out of wood. There was nobody home, and next to them I found a player base made out of metal. Now that's a really strong base and was fortified by wooden spike walls. We're not at that point yet, so let's go back to resources. You gotta find these rocks that stand out a little bit, and as you get close to them it says hatch it together. From these you will get stone, metal ore, and sulfur ore. When you are a fresh spawn, you care most about stone. Try to get 5 stone and 10 wood as soon as possible. If you cannot find these wood piles, go to a tree and get wood from there. Keep in mind that from wood piles, you get about 60 to 80 pieces of wood, where from a tree, you only get 7 or 8 before the tree runs out. Once you have 5 stone and 10 pieces of wood, build yourself a stone hatchet. The stone hatchet is better for butchering animals, and when you're gathering supplies, it goes much faster. For example, this is with the stone hatchet, and now this is with the rock. You can see that the rock goes a lot slower. So what I did is I kept gathering as much as I could. Rock, wood, rock, wood, rock, rock, wood. Everything that I saw that I could gather, I gathered it. I saw a few zombies, but I'm not ready to fight them yet. So I went up in the rocks nearby, and you can see everything that I gathered so far. I built myself a wood shelter. After it finished crafting and I set it up between a few rocks, I got in and I built myself a wooden door. Now keep in mind that only I can open and close my door. Nobody else can access it. However, wooden doors are the weakest, so if someone was going to hatchet it for about 4 minutes, they would break it. You want to aim for metal doors. The next thing that I built myself was a campfire. With this, you can cook the meat that you gather from the animals. What I did is I split it up in 3 because there's 3 slots for cooking. It cooks much faster. As soon as the first batch cooked, I ate it because my hunger was low. The next thing, I built a wood storage box. This one has 12 spots where I can put stuff that I don't want to carry around. Normally at this stage, you want to build a sleeping bag. A sleeping bag is sort of your respawn point. If you get killed or you die somehow, you can respawn randomly or you can respawn back in your sleeping bag. Because it's still daylight outside, I built myself a hunting bow from 35 wood and 5 cloth, and then I crafted arrows. Keep in mind that arrows craft in stacks of 4, so I went for 5 arrow crafts, which is 5 times 4, 20 arrows, and in your inventory you can only stack arrows of 10 in one slot. So you cannot have 250 arrows on you, but you can have as many stacks of 10 as you can fit. After that, I went back where the zombies were and they died with 1 hit. From one of them, I got a bottle of water and anti-radiation pills. I aimed for another one, but I missed him. Keep in mind that there's no crosshairs for the bow, so you really have to wing it. The second one got me some food. I found the third one, which had some ammo. So as you see, each zombie drops a suitcase. Some of them have good stuff, some of them not as good. It just depends on what you are really in need for. I killed another zombie that had an explosive charge blueprint. A fresh survivor does not know how to build an explosive charge. So all I have to do to learn it is right click, study it. Now I get a message that says you know how to craft it, and it appears in my crafting list. If you played the game for a long time, you will learn how to make everything: weapons, hatchets, metal construction, armor, bullets, medical supplies, and so on. Everything in the game you can learn. The other thing that I should mention is that everything you learn is for this server alone, and if you die or get killed, you do not lose any of your knowledge. However, if you do decide to switch servers, let's say you have some friends on another server, you will start as a fresh spawn with nothing that you learned so far. And if you decide to come back to the server, you will still have everything saved, but if you play on a different server, you won't. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of like Daisy private hives, like you can have a life on each one, but they're individual and they do not overlap. So in a sense, you are playing 2 characters, but really each server has its own database. So I continued gathering resources. I killed a deer at some point and then a pig. I killed the zombie, which had a research kit. Now keep in mind, because this is important, on another zombie I found some leather boots, and I was out for quite a while gathering supplies, which got dark, but as I went back to the shelter, this is what I had so far. You can see that I have 2 blueprints. One is Kevlar vest, and if I go under armor, you can only see cloth armor because I don't know how to build Kevlar vest. So after I right click, study it, tells me that I know how to build it, and it shows up in the list. Same thing with the laser sight. I study it, and now I have a laser sight that I can craft to attach it to weapons. I then built a workbench. You do need a workbench to use the research kit. I do not know how to build a large storage which has 36 slots as opposed to the small one which has 12, so I need a research kit, paper, and a workbench. I take the research kit and drop it over the large wood storage. I now know how to craft a large wood storage. Keep in mind that you do lose the research kit and 1 piece of paper from your inventory, so you do need to prioritize what you actually want to research. This is an alternative if you do not have blueprints to something. I should also mention that you can only research things in your inventory. Once you put something down, you cannot research it. So if I were to place that large wood storage down, I would not be able to research it because it was placed down. And if I destroy to collect it, it just destroys. It's not like Minecraft to where you can take it, pick it up, and put it somewhere else. So with that in mind, be careful where you place things because you can only destroy them. You cannot pick them up and move them around. Now that I have a large wood storage, I decided to put all the things that I don't want to carry in it, and I put whatever meat I had left to cook. I do have a lot of metal ore and sulfur ore from mining, so I decided to make a furnace. I have everything but low-grade fuel, so using animal fat and cloth, I made 10 low-grade fuel, and using those, wood and stones, I built the furnace. I placed it down, put some wood, metal ore, sulfur in it, and I let it cook. I am no Walter White, so I can't explain to you how this works, but from metal ore, I get metal fragments, from sulfur ore, I get sulfur, and from wood, I get charcoal. Using those, we'll be able to craft other things. I went outside to kill a few zombies around the house. On one of them I found a holographic blueprint, so I quickly studied it on the spot, and then a bear aggroed on me, so I had to run away because I didn't have any arrows. So I decided, as the sun is rising, to just craft some arrows. Keep in mind that one arrow craft is 4 arrows. I'm making 4 arrow crafts, so I'm gonna have 4 times 4, 16 arrows. I went back to get the bear that aggroed on me. One thing led to another, and I ended up with 2 bears, 2 wolves, and 1 zombie following me. So all I could do was run, reload the bow, turn around, shoot. I'm gonna leave this part in just so you guys can see how the hunting warfare goes. I'll make it a little bit brighter so you guys can see better. So as you see, I got quite damaged because I don't have any armor on me. All I have is those boots. Luckily, I found Kevlar boots blueprints on the zombie in front of me, so I learned that. And then I hatcheted the wolves and the bears. I got a couple more resources, and then I went back to the shelter. First thing that I did was to put the metal and sulfur ore in the furnace, and then I put more meat to cook. I finally made a sleeping bag, placed it on the ground, and then from the cloth I made a few bandages, and then I made a few more arrows because I didn't have any more. I went out on another run to gather resources and kill a few zombies. I'm not gonna show the whole thing so you guys get the idea. And then I came back home. I built myself cloth vest, pants, and a helmet. I was quite cozy in the shelter. It was way too small, so I decided to take all the wood and turn it into wood planks. Another thing that I should mention is that when you're crafting something that takes more than a few seconds, like 2 or 3 minutes, you are still able to move around, do everything, except you are gonna walk a lot slower. You can only craft one thing at a time, but you can still do everything else. You're just a lot slower in movement. You're also gonna have a little icon in the right hand side corner that's gonna tell you that you are crafting. Also, a big side note, if you're crafting something that needs a workbench, like weapons, metal doors, attachments, and so on, you can not leave the workbench area. You can still move around like 2 or 3 feet around it, but you cannot move away from the workbench. It'll cancel everything and you're gonna have to start again. So after I turned the 400 pieces into 40 wood planks, I built a foundation. I found a place and I put down the foundation, and then I built 4 pillars. I placed those pillars down, and please be sure to place them in the corners if you want to build something. If you place them in the middle of the foundation or in the middle of the edge of the foundation, you cannot place a wall around it, and you cannot destroy pillars unless you have C4, aka explosive charges. I then built 3 walls. I placed those, and then I built a wooden doorway. I placed that, and I went back to the shelter where is a workbench, and I built a metal door using metal fragments that I got from the furnace, from the metal ore that I mined from the rocks. See how this whole thing works? I went back to the house, I put the metal door, I crafted a ceiling, I put the ceiling up, and officially this is a house that is finished. You cannot destroy this house using hatchets. You can destroy wooden shelters using hatchets, you can destroy wooden doors using hatchets, but you cannot destroy metal door and these walls using hatchets. The only thing that can destroy them is C4, aka explosive charges. I went back to the shelter because I need a workbench. I built a large wooden storage. I picked up my sleeping bag, picked up a couple of things from the storage, and I'm moving everything in the new house. I'm not gonna bore you guys with the new house details because if you watched the video till now, you should know how I got the extra storage, campfire, workbench, and furnace in there. At this point, I want to start visiting a few places that have higher value loot. So I went back to the house, picked up the metal fragments. I turned those into 5 low quality metal, and then I turned those into 9mm pistol. You have the 9mm pistol crafting recipe by default. Now this is the best case scenario that happened to me is I created a pistol that has 5 slot attachments. If you look underneath the pistol, it's 5 empty squares, means you can put 5 attachments. Once you put an attachment on it, you cannot take it off. So with the 5 attachments, I can put laser sight, holographic, flashlight, suppressor, and so on. You can create a pistol with no slots, 1 slot, 2 slot, 3 slots, 4 slots, slot or 5 slots. Those are completely random. So this is the best case scenario that can happen. So because I have 5 slots and I want to show you guys some of the things, I decided to turn more of the metal fragments into low quality metal. I created a holographic sight and also created a laser sight, and I attached them. Remember that the holographic and laser sight are blueprints that I found earlier in this video. From there I went to a popular loot place called the fuel tanks, which are about a minute away from my house, and around these fuel tanks there are a few boxes sometimes where you find better loot. In one of them I found a large wood storage, another one I found some radiation boots that I quickly put on, and then I had to kill a zombie, which the zombie himself had another large wood storage. I then moved on and I found a shotgun. At the same time I got ambushed by a zombie, so I had to run away because I was out of ammo when I couldn't shoot him. I had to kill him with the bow, and then I equipped the shotgun that I took from one of those boxes, and then I reloaded the shotgun, which has the coolest animation in the world. And then as I went back to the boxes, another zombie came towards me and I shot him with a shotgun. Obviously the shotgun is amazing, and then I picked up everything around there that I could. And if you hear those clicking noises in the back, that's the radiation sound, so you have to keep in mind of the numbers. If it starts going over 200, start taking some of the radiation pills. On the way home I gathered a couple of more resources that I could find, and at this point you guys should have a pretty good idea of the things you can create. Just to show you guys, I built a couple of extra foundation pillars, walls, and I put them around the house, and then I put a couple of ceilings. I had the metal door, so this can be like another hallway. You guys should really know how to build this just from watching this video. And also I put a foundation in the wrong place by mistake, but to not waste it, what I decided to do is I decided to put walls around it, and I put a staircase and another door, so this can be used as a staircase to make a second floor if I wanted to build this. So you guys can get a pretty good idea of what you can do. From now on, these are just basic stuff, and you can make these to your preference. You can be the architect that your parents always wanted you to be. One of the final things I want to show you guys is disconnecting, and you might be thinking, yeah, just press escape and disconnect. Yeah, but I want to show you guys what happens in the game. So for that I want to join my own server, and I asked Reno to join. So while he's joining, I'm going to show you guys my M4 and how it shoots, and also I'm going to show you guys my MP5 and how it shoots. And now that Reno made it in here, I told him to stay still and disconnect. Yes, your body stays on the server 24/7, which means that there is never any combat login. If you're gonna engage on a bandit and he alt F4s, this is how his body is gonna look. And by the way, Reno just connected right here. But if you engage on a bandit and he disconnects, his body is gonna be there. If somebody engages on you and you're like, oh, I'm gonna alt F4, your body's still gonna be there. They're gonna come, they're gonna kill him, they're gonna take your stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed my review and guide of Rust. I do really hope you enjoyed it, and I'd really appreciate it if you guys could give it a like, a comment, and it would be most grateful you can share it on something, because over 8 hours have gone into the making of this video. So I really want to make something nice for you guys, because I've been live streaming a lot lately and I've seen a lot of the same questions being asked, so I want to make a guide for the people. There's been a lot of people that bought the game because of the live stream, and they're like, Nick, how do I do this? How did you make that happen? So I wanted to make a guide just to show you guys what I've done so far. This, what you're seeing around here, is our base that we've built. I think over 3 or 4 days of work has gone into this, so it is quite well. We're doing really well, like we're really happy about it. So if you guys want to see me live stream this game, you are more than welcome to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I always announce when I stream, or if you want to just follow me straight on Twitch and get an email, you can also do that. No pressure to anything, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.
Turns out nothing is easy, found out over time. Look out, this doesn't please me. Wish I could turn back time. I know things will get better, don't go questioning that. But things change just like the weather. One storm could push me back, it's alright. Come and hold my hand, baby, it's alright. Now I understand, you gotta be brave, gotta be strong, gotta be tough, gotta hold on, gotta feel love, gotta get cold.